been for the Liverpool players that call that place home. A stunning comeback against Barcelona in the Champions League on Tuesday, which means on June the 1st in Madrid, the chance will come for European Cup number 6. But Liverpool have been stuck on 18 league titles for 29 years now. It's been frustrating, but is today the day that all changed? They have to win here against Wolves to give themselves a chance, and they need a little bit of help from elsewhere as well. But in this incredible season and in this breathtaking title race, you get the sense that just about anything is possible for Jurgen Klopp's record-breaking Reds.
Completely free and scores in style.
A very good morning. Welcome to a special breakfast show live from the Kop on the final day of the Premier League season. Loads of ways to watch us this morning on LFCTV, on social media, on YouTube as well. And over the course of the next hour, we're going to be speaking to the fans who will fill this famous stand a little bit later on, the journalists who followed the title race every step of the way. And of course, we need a couple of men who know all about winning titles. And we found a couple. Ronnie Whelan, Bruce Grobbelaar, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Rob.
Ronnie Whelan, from a player's perspective, tell me the significance of calling yourself a league champion.
I came over to Liverpool to play football, basically. Then when you start getting in the first team, all you want to do is emulate the people that have gone before you, the likes of the Dalgliishs, and even before that, you want to win trophies. You're happy enough getting a League Cup trophy if you can, but to win the league was something special. I was fortunate enough that I was involved in very, very good teams, so I won a few. But to get the first one under your belt, beat Tottenham here to win it, great.
A little bit of a list of honours for these two, and it makes pretty decent reading. 35 between you. Bruce, did the nerves ever change the more you won, or did you still go into a cup final thinking and feeling expectation and excitement and a little bit of tension?
Of course there's going to be tension in every game. If you don't come out of that dressing room and touch the this is Anfield sign without any nerves, then you must have something wrong with you. We had the nerves in the first 6 months of our first season. We were 13th in the league, 13 points behind top spot, and we ended up winning the league that year, that season, by 3 points and a game to spare. Going forward, we were taught not to be nervous on the field, but the nerves can be there before that.
I'm just going to take you back to 1990, test your memory a little bit, Bruce. That final game against Coventry City, you'd already won the league by that point. But could you ever have comprehended if someone had said to you in the moments after that game back in 1990, Liverpool won't win the league again for at least 29 years? What would you have said to them?
They were smoking something, I'm telling you. Nobody could have seen what was in store for us. And for us not to win the league since 1990, it's barely unbelievable. It is, but it's reality. We haven't. We're on the verge this afternoon to maybe get over the line, but for whatever happens today, we've had an absolutely brilliant season. We're 19 points better than last season, and we are clawing so close to Manchester City.
Tell me what you said when I reminded you that you didn't actually play in that Coventry game, Whelan.
I had just remembered, actually, there was a World Cup to go to, Italia 90, and I'd also broken my foot against Arsenal a few games before. I was doubtful for the World Cup, but I made it in the end, but wasn't 100% fit. But it's just to...
What do those images conjure up for you?
Great times, great people, great players, good friends, great manager, coaches. It all has to come together. And you look at Liverpool this season, it's all coming together. You know, everybody's involved, the staff, the players, the substitutes are coming on. They're all making a difference.
Typically understated, by the way, there, Bruce. Sombrero on, nicking someone's camera.
No, well, youngster came out of the Kemlyn Road at that time, and he had a goalkeeper's shirt on. And I know his name, Kevin. So I grabbed him and I said, "Listen, hold the cup. Give me the camera. I'll take a picture of you." So as soon as I did that, all the kids came over, and it was fantastic.
When we look back to all the great title races that you're involved in, Ronnie, did you get more pleasure from the years where you were pushed right to the limit? Think of particularly maybe 1986 and Everton.
No difference.
Really?
No, it was better when I won it in the second year, 82, 83, I think it was. Yeah. We won it with about 8 games to play. That was much better because you had no pressure on you after that. I think we went to Sunderland, or Middlesbrough, and got a draw.
We got a draw, Middlesbrough.
When you were drinking in the afternoon before the game.
Hey, listen, don't say that.
There was only about 8 of us. But no, everyone, the easier the better for me. No pressure on us at all. But no, it was great to be involved in it with the people I'm talking about, and I had luckily enough to have 2 or 3 different eras of people along the way, but all the same that we wanted to win. They were good players with a lot of heart who want to win games. Will always get you over the line.
When you think back to 1990, how would you describe the challenge that year? Because you won it in the end pretty comfortably from Aston Villa. What sort of title race was that? Because you finished the season very strongly with, I think, 9 unbeaten. 9
unbeaten, yes. We were nip and tuck up until Christmas. Christmas Day, I think that they were just ahead of us, and then we overtook them, and then it was up and down until the last 9, and we just went on a run. And it just showed that the players just had the desire just to get over the line. And the thing about our dressing room, you saw us laughing together, not laughing at anybody. We laughed together. And this team that Jurgen Klopp has got, they are laughing together. Whenever they score, they are coming together, and they all are as one.
And the other thing I see from this current team as well, Ronnie, in terms of their mindset, I spoke to Sadio Mane before the Barcelona game, the first leg. They seem so relaxed, they seem so confident in their own ability and in the collective ability as well. And I guess that's something you had in your day as well. Yeah,
well, you sit in the dressing room before a game sometimes, and there was periods when I was playing with Liverpool, you'd look around and think, not too sure. But when it's all going really, really well, and you look around and you see the players that you're going to go out on the pitch with, and you think, and we'll always have a chance. You just look at them, and I'm sure the lads now look around the dressing room and go, yeah, he can play, he'll get crosses in, I get in the box, he'll score. So they're just going out with confidence and a will that they're going to get through the game, which they've done over the last, God knows how many games. You know, we've written them off thinking, oh, they're not playing well, but they get over the line somehow.
When you look back to your year as well, Bruce, or the last year that you won at 1990, drew 10, lost 5. You think Liverpool could well finish second today, having drawn 7 and lost 1 game. This has been extraordinary, hasn't it, between Liverpool and Manchester City this season?
It has. It'll be the first time in history that a team who's only lost 1 game, if we do not win the league, come second with only losing 1 game. I don't think that any league in the world has ever had that, but it is what it is. But you know, when they started to, when they put this 3 points for a win up, well, if it was 2 points for a win and 1 for a draw, we would be on top.
I was listening to the telly the other day, and I think it was Teddy Sheringham who said, listen, if Liverpool finish second, they're losers, which is fair enough. And he said, nobody ever remembers second. But this team, if they finish second, will be remembered forever as the team who got 90-odd points, 97. Lost 1 game in the season, and didn't win the league.
So how would they be remembered in the Pantheon if they weren't to win the league, given that it might be a record-breaking season in terms of points, in terms of wins, it would be record equalling if they beat Wolves today. But this is a club built on winning things.
Yeah, they'll be remembered as the team who finished second with all what you've said. But if they win it, they'll be remembered as one of the best teams that Liverpool have put out over a season. You know, you go back to your late 70s, your mid 80s, the late 80s, all these teams that were really, really good are all remembered at Anfield. This team, if they get over the line and win the Champions League, will be remembered as up there with all the best.
You mentioned 1990 and the fact that you were sort of neck and neck with Aston Villa until about Christmas, and then you surged away. And we've seen that in a lot of seasons in the Premier League over the years as well, that one team comes and maybe the title race starts cooking about February, March time. I mean, these two have been going hammer and tong right throughout the course of the season. Since Liverpool lost at the Etihad, unbeaten in 16, Manchester City have won 15 out of 16. Why are these two so much better than everyone else in the league?
Well, you have a look at their managers and the coaches, and they've put the teams together that are absolutely dynamic in all departments. And you know, you've got the two best managers probably in the whole of Europe, maybe possibly the world. You know, they've got charisma, they've got guile, their tactics are absolutely spot on, and they can laugh at each other and they laugh with the team, and they've got great charisma, both of them.
Do you think you'd have both enjoyed playing for, firstly Jurgen Klopp, but also, I guess, Pep Guardiola as well?
Yeah, most definitely. The philosophy they've got for football is unbelievable. I remember when Pep was at Barcelona and everybody goes, oh, they've got no plan B. You know, they're going to still keep playing football. But he still does that at Man City. And Klopp does that now. It's you don't see, let's put the two centre-backs up front and let's lash balls up to them if we're struggling. No, this is the way we believe you go about it. This is the way we believe you will score goals. This is the way you will break defences down. And Man City and Liverpool wear you down. Man City more so. I think they're a bit more adept at keeping the ball and making people run around for 90 minutes and then they may score late on. But Liverpool have been scoring late goals also all season. So the philosophy of the two managers is very much the same. Keep the ball and let the opposition run about.
Bruce, in terms of coaching, I guess a lot of managers will understand tactics. So what sets people like Jurgen Klopp apart?
Well, you've got to get the tactics right for the teams that you're playing against. And I think that the coaching staff have done a magnificent job all season long. Okay, the one that we lost at Manchester City, if we do not get over the line, that's the one that they're going to look at and see how and why we didn't get over the line at Man City.
Well, there are already plenty of people at Anfield inside the ground enjoying a tour of the stadium, and there are also a good few fans outside today already. Even when I got here about 8 o'clock this morning, they were making their way around buying some scarves on what could be a momentous day for Liverpool if they can beat Wolves and get a little bit of a favour from Brighton as well.
Join us in the LFC dressing room every Thursday at 9 o'clock for LFC Later. In a show packed with exclusive interviews, celebrity chats, quirky features and live music, we take a sideways look at events at the club on and off the pitch. Don't miss LFC Later, Thursdays at 9 p.m. on LFCTV.
Get all the best build-up and reaction to every Liverpool game right here on LFCTV.
Sue Smith goes behind the scenes to bring you the very latest from the Liverpool FC women's team.
Experience exclusive behind-the-scenes footage from Liverpool's home games from the latest editions of Inside Anfield.
We take a closer look at some of the Reds' most memorable and significant European encounters in European classics.
The Academy returns to your screens with an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at one of the most celebrated youth setups in football.
There's lots to be excited about in the month of May. here on LFCTV and LFCTV Go.
Welcome back to our special breakfast show live from the Kop alongside two six-time champions Ronnie Whelan and Bruce Grobbelaar on a beautiful day here. The pitch looks like a carpet, and Liverpool and Manchester City have been getting plenty of headlines throughout the course of the last 9 months. And our reporter Sam Ashu is with two local journalists who have been following this title race right the way from August.
Thanks, Rob. Yes, I'm joined by two press box regulars in the shape of Simon Hughes from The Independent, James Pearce from the Liverpool Echo. James, I'll start with you. Liverpool into another Champions League final, and they've taken the Premier League to the final day of this season. Can you quite believe what you've seen this campaign?
No, not really. It's certainly surpassed my wildest expectations, and I think those of most supporters as well. I think, you know, when you think that Liverpool were, 25 points adrift of Man City last season, I think Klopp summed it up pretty well on the eve of the new season when he said it felt like it was Rocky Balboa against Ivan Drago in Rocky IV, and you know, to last the pace how they have done has been an unbelievable achievement, and the fact they've taken it down to the wire is testament to what Klopp has built here at Liverpool.
Yeah, we're standing just above the Paisley Square here. Already so many fans. The place is buzzing, really, isn't it? It has been all season, but particularly today, it's got that feel about it, hasn't it?
It does, yeah, and I think, you know, no matter what happens down at Brighton today, the mood here will be one of celebration. You know, of course, we all hope desperately for that favour from Chris Hughton's side, but if it doesn't arrive, you know, there'll be no hint of, you know, no one will be demoralised or down in the dumps, because all you can be is immensely proud of what this team have produced over the last 9 months. The consistency has been absolutely remarkable. 94 points, just one league defeat, and even that one, you know, was the finest of margins at the Etihad. So no, you can, even though we're a long way from kickoff, still you can sense the buzz around the place.
Yeah, James mentioned the word proud there. I think that's a word that's going to be used numerous times throughout today, isn't it? No matter what happens, Simon.
Yeah, I just think about, you know, around this time a year ago when they went to Kiev and how flattening an experience that was. And, you know, for Jurgen Klopp to get the team, to lift the team again and lift the club and go the way they have, you know, all the way through the season. The amount of late winners that they've got have just been incredible. You know, they've never given up. I think now, you know, the team identifies with, you know, the fans a lot more on so many different levels. You know, there's so many different personal stories. You know, if you look at the players' backgrounds and the way they've sort of got to Liverpool and then played such a massive role in the way the season's panned out. I mean, the one big thing for me is, you know, you think about since Jurgen Klopp's been at Liverpool, every single season, the last game of the season has mattered something. And you know, it's again the case today. Each 4 seasons, I think, as long as that keeps on happening, I think the fans are always going to be happy. But today, I think that no matter what happens, you know, I think that they've had a tremendous season, and you know, there'll be no reason to be down if it doesn't go Liverpool's way.
What are the key reasons then as to why Liverpool have been able to get to yet another Champions League final and amass a record points total in the Premier League side?
I just think, you know, although they've obviously signed 2 big players in the last 18 months who made a massive difference to the way the the sort of the team defends. I think that's been one of the big reasons. The defence and the goalkeeper and Van Dijk have been incredible. Keeping the team together as well, despite the team's steadily been evolving. I know they've obviously lost Philip Coutinho, but they've reinvested the money really, really well. And I just think now that there's a lot of trust. I think Jurgen Klopp's managed to instill a trust between the fans and the team again. I've not seen it like this since around 2005 when Liverpool last won the Champions League. Although I've got to admit, this team is a better team than the team that won that Champions League. So I think it's as well. I think that if you think about the future, Liverpool look like a team now. If they do manage to get over the line today, and if they do win the Champions League, I don't think there's anything stopping them over the next sort of 5 or 6 years of being a real dominant force alongside Manchester City. It depends what happens with Guardiola, whether he sticks around as well. I think Jurgen Klopp's desperate to stay at Liverpool. You can see what's happening here. He said several times that it's just the first season that they've gone for the title. Yeah. I think no matter what happens today, I think Liverpool will be there or thereabouts in the next couple of years.
I saw somewhere that someone mentioned that it's like a holy trinity at the moment between the fans, the player and the manager. Have you ever seen the relationship between those three things so strong in your time, certainly covering on the Liverpool Echo as you do?
No, and I think that is a huge reason why this team have achieved what they have done over the last 9 months. And I think, there's one man who you have to give immense credit for that, and that is Jurgen Klopp, because he has created that bond. He is that leader that Liverpool fans, he ticks every single box that any supporter would want in a manager. The passion, the charisma he shows on the touchline. He's a figurehead. He fights your corner when you come under attack from rivals. On the pitch, he's put together this absolute relentless winning machine, and they do it in style. You can only admire the resilience, the guts, the spirit we've seen that have dragged them out of so many holes. And I think Klopp knew when he came to Liverpool, the history and the tradition of the place was a big reason that lured him here. But I think also he was quite shocked initially at just how down in the dumps people felt, because it had been one kind of body blow after another. And the biggest tribute you can pay him is how he has managed to galvanise that fan base and just make everyone believe. And then the fruits of his labour were there for all to see here on Tuesday night when players, staff and supporters came together as one united, powerful force and proved to be unstoppable.
Let's have a look back at the bit of the season then, Si. Let's put you right on the spot here and do some mini awards, if you like. Give us your player of the season and why.
The great thing about this Liverpool team is I think there's quite a few candidates, really. I know we've spoken about Van Dijk and the goalkeeper having massively influential roles. You could look at Andy Robertson, I think, who is just been incredible. He's got to be, in my opinion, one of the best left backs in Europe now, if not the world. Right across the team, that I think every player in a normal season would be able to stake a claim, really. But for me, I just think the second half of the season, Sadio Mane's been his influence has been so significant. He's popped up with so many important goals, even when the team hasn't played particularly well. He's been the one who has played well and again either scored a goal or set one up. So for me, I think if you look back to that sticky period where Liverpool were drawing a few games, he was the one who sort of lifted them out of that situation when Firmino obviously hasn't been available the last couple of weeks, and Salah, when his form wasn't quite at its peak, Mane was the one who was scoring the goals. So it's the second half of the season that you remember the most clear. I think there's probably players who started the season a bit better, but it's quite funny the way the awards go in the Premier League, because obviously they sort of look at the middle of the season where that's where all the votes are cast. Whereas I think if Mane had if it had been later in the season, Mane had been one of the ones who'd have been right up there alongside Raheem Sterling and Virgil van Dijk, because he's been incredible. And I thought Barcelona again on Tuesday night, he was just an absolute nuisance. I mean, their defenders, I don't think will have come up against somebody like him before, who's just on the front foot all the time. I know he didn't score, but again, it was just like another incredible performance that just goes under the radar because of the nature of the Liverpool season and the madness that's unfolded.
Sadio Mane then with a sprinkle of Andy Robertson there. James, I'll come to you for the moment of the season. Which one stands out? There have been so many, but take us through the one that really does stand out for you.
Well, we have been spoilt for choice, but for me it has to be Divock Origi's, 96th minute winner against Everton here in the Merseyside derby, because I think like most people inside the ground, you'd reach that point where you felt as if the game was over. I mean, you couldn't, if you were trying to think of a Hollywood script for how to win a Merseyside derby, you'd struggle to have the imagination to come up with that one. Everton fans throwing a flare onto the field, celebrating their point, Liverpool lumping that free kick forward, and then even the drama of Van Dijk slicing that volley and turning away in disgust. And I must admit, I turned away myself and didn't even see initially what had happened, and then. And the fact it was Divock Origi as well, a player that he kind of epitomises the never say die spirit in this Liverpool squad. The fact he hadn't even had a look in the first half of the season, then he comes on and has a moment like that, and you think it can't get any better for him. But as I think Klopp said in the Sunday papers today, this has been Divock Origi week, and hopefully he's got another big moment in him.
Si, just very, very quickly, your game of the season and why, because we've absolutely raced through this. We've got to throw back.
Yeah, again, it's Divock Origi related. I think last week at Newcastle. I mean, again, it's the freshest league game in the mind, isn't it? So, the ebb and flow of the game, the drama, the late drama. For me, that was a real Premier League game where both teams just went at it, hammer and tong. And obviously Liverpool just about managed to get over the line, and it puts them in this position today where they could win the league.
Have you thought about what you're going to write if Liverpool win the league? Just quickly.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I've gone the other way. Actually, I've tried to start writing a piece where it doesn't happen, and hope that it's a case of deleting it all and starting again, because I don't want to tempt fate.
Pessimism in the hope of optimism, if you like. Well, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll have plenty more here from Anfield right after the break. Rob, Ronnie and Bruce will be with you. Don't go away.
I think it's important with a decent football career that you don't cling to it too much. Take your learning, develop it, give it to someone else.
They say the goalkeepers, they are a little bit crazy, This is my hobby, my passion. This is all about my life now.
I've learned so many things from my coaches there, how to behave, how to train, how to communicate and how to respect everybody. Those are values that can be implemented anywhere.
1 minute you're dreaming of playing for Liverpool at Anfield, the next you're wondering if you'll ever kick a ball again. With the support of so many people, I've made a new life for myself.
The Atlantic salmon is one of the really iconic fish of the world. If you hook it, your heart starts pumping straight away. It's so strong.
This is known as the Walk of Champions at Anfield, and the class of 2018-19 are going to be hoping they are just that by beating Wolves later this afternoon and hoping that Brighton do them a favour against the reigning champions Manchester City. And everyone who will be sat right here in the Kop will certainly be thinking that, and all of you who aren't going to be at the game but watching on TVs all around the world as well. Bruce Grobbelaar and Ronnie Whelan alongside me. In terms of the fans and the atmosphere, Bruce, we saw some pictures earlier of back in 1990 and your triumphs. Give me a sense as a player of what it was like to celebrate with the supporters every time you brought them some success.
The supporters come here, and it's not anything that you know that you'd ever think for us to win it with the fans, and it's for the fans. You know, the people that come here are the heroes, because they come here week in, week out to cheer on the team, hoping that we get over the line. We were lucky we came into a side that were winning things all the time, and it was bred into us. Once you get the first win, and you carry on winning. So this team, if they win something this season, whether it is the league today or the Champions League on the 1st of June, then they'll go on and win many, many more.
I think it goes a bit both ways, doesn't it? Fans, Liverpool fans especially, come to a game and think, I'd love to see a great match with 11 players or more showing heart and a will to win. And they cannot complain, the fans, one bit this year that there hasn't been on the pitch week in, week out, home or away. Now the players on the pitch are giving more than 100% if they can. The football has been scintillating as well. And now they want to support that, them sort of people that are out there. They know what they're going to get week out, and they know if they give them the support as well, it's going to lift them even more. So it's give and take, really. But the support has been magnificent all season, but they like what they're seeing on the pitch.
Did you ever get a sense in your day that when you turned up there was almost an expectation to win, and now the desire is so huge because it's been 29 long years and the likes of Leicester and Blackburn have won the league in that time, and it's so overdue?
I think that became a problem in itself, that even the fans turned up and go, oh, right, this is going to be, we're going to win 5 or 6-0. And if it doesn't go right for 20, 25 minutes, you did know that the fans weren't happy, and you did know you had to lift your game. We can all talk about, we go back all those years, we won trophies and it was great every week. It wasn't great every week, and the fans weren't great every week. There was bad times that you had to get through and you weren't doing it right on the pitch, but the crowd let you know about it, and you soon did it right.
Our fans are very, very knowledgeable, and they know who's not pulling their weight on the pitch. And these fans are exactly the same.
And I think it's fair to say that no one on Tuesday night wasn't pulling their weight on the pitch, Ronnie. I mean, extraordinary game, extraordinary atmosphere. I thought I'd seen it all with Dortmund a few years ago, and that was a couple of levels above.
Yeah, you go back even to Istanbul, what that was like. I was unfortunate I wasn't here. I was away playing golf somewhere. But
that's strange for you, playing golf.
I know, yeah. But I watched it, and I was with a load of lads watching it, and the atmosphere that was in the house where we were watching it was unbelievable as well. But it wasn't just Liverpool fans, it was Man United fans even, were just, the way the game went, you know, it was like edge of your seat stuff throughout the game. It was just one of those, go back to Istanbul, as I said, it was one of those times again, you will always remember where you were when Liverpool beat Barcelona 4-0.
When you're a player involved in something like that, in a comeback, and it was incredible, Bruce, but do you get a sense, and if so, how early do you think into Tuesday night would those players have got a sense, this is on here, we can do this?
Well, I was in America, just getting the fans over there wound up. I was over there in the New York Yankee Stadium, but I went to the Supporters Club. And Rodney Marsh and Tommy Smith interviewed me that morning, and they said, there's no place for you in the final this year. And I actually said to Rodney Marsh, I said, listen, Ronnie, remember 2005, we had 45 minutes to claw back 3 goals. 2008 at Cardiff, we had to come back, and Stevie G did it. This team is a never say die. If we get an early goal, or a goal before halftime, get another goal just after halftime, who knows what might happen. This team showed us what guts and determination they had. And we didn't play with our best players. And, you know, everybody looked at the team and the strikers and they, wow, we won't get over the line here. We've only got Sadio Mane. But what did they do? They produced everything that we desired and we wanted.
I thought the players would have took great confidence from what they did in Barcelona. You know, even though they lost 3-0, and I think the miss from Dembele late on could have been 4-0. They would have known themselves, if that's gone in, we're out, it's completely. But we've now got a chance, and I thought they played well enough in Barcelona to have the confidence to come here and know if they can just keep it tight, don't concede, they had a great chance of winning. I think they would have come back with huge confidence. Although 3-0 down, they would have felt, the players, that they could get through it.
Well, as a fan, you probably haven't slept too much over the course of the last 24 hours with the excitement of what might come today. And we've been keeping Sam Ashu pretty busy this morning because he's with the supporters to get a sense of the atmosphere just a few yards away from here at Anfield.
Thanks very much, Rob. Yeah, we've come to the 12-man pub just down the road from Anfield. Just the waters for me, I can assure you. But Steve, the stomach settler for you. How are you feeling ahead of the game?
Well, first of all, I'd like Robbie for buying us a pint. Like, so, yeah. No, it's going to be a very emotional day today at Anfield. You know, challenging for the league once again. It took us 30 years to get this far. You know, we had a close one a few years ago, but I think, you know, what we've achieved this year is absolutely brilliant with the squad that we've got. You know, what Man City, you know, we all know City got like for like in every position. We've got like 14, 15 top players, and to go toe to toe with them for the whole season, it's absolutely amazing. You know, we're proud of Liverpool Football Club at this time.
And this is it, isn't it? It's all we could have asked for, to get to the final day of the season with the possibility, the chance of winning the Premier League title.
Yeah, you know, as Steve says, you know, to be able to come to the last game and challenge is brilliant. You know, we've had a few false starts over the years where we've nearly come up and we come up short. But I feel even if it doesn't happen this year, you know, we're on a good path now with the manager that we got, the squad that we got. So yeah, as football fans, Liverpool fans, all we want is to be challenging for titles. That's all.
I guess Wolves aren't to be taken lightly as well. A guaranteed 7th place finish as well. They're going to come here and want to spoil what could be an incredible day.
Yeah, absolutely. All Liverpool's games on this winning run we've been on, every team has had a good go at us. You know, we even saw Newcastle last Saturday night. Everyone has really tried hard, and Wolves won't be any different. You know, the Wolves away game in the league was hard enough, and they beat us in the cup, and they've done really well this season, Wolves. It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, it certainly is indeed. Steve, you were at the game against Barcelona. You go home and away with the Reds. Yeah. Give us an idea. I guess anything is possible after Tuesday night, isn't it?
Well, the game against Barcelona, we all hoped in our hearts that we could have a go with them and we could win, like get a few goals. But we always thought with Messi and Suarez and Coutinho, they would score a goal. But to beat them 4-0, the great team of Barcelona, and beat them 4-0, you know, for me, you know, I was fortunate to be at Saint Etienne and Chelsea 05, but even Auxerre in 1992, was it? When we were 2-0 down in France and we beat them 3-0 at Anfield. And there was only 22,000 there, I think, that day. And the atmosphere was absolutely amazing for half a ground full. But for me, that eclipse, Saint Etienne the other night, Barcelona. Yeah, it did, I think. For the, you know, to beat the great Barcelona. You know, Saint Etienne at the time were a brilliant football club. You know, they got to a European Cup final, remember, in 75, was it, I think it was. But when they got beat, but we beat them, and it's legendary about the crowd, you know, the noise and, you know, the atmosphere that night. But the other night, Barcelona, for me, you know, as a football game, it was, there's nothing better that I've ever seen at Anfield.
It just shows you just how big a night that was. Steve there saying that it does eclipse a night like 1977. These are absolutely special times to be a Liverpool fan, aren't they?
Oh, without doubt, yeah. You know, as we've said, you know, obviously anyone who's lucky enough to be in the ground on Tuesday will never forget it. We've all got our own memories of what Liverpool was like in years gone by, because we're a lot older than some of the fans who went the game, obviously. But again, I would tend to agree that Tuesday night was probably the best atmosphere I've witnessed at Anfield. You know, I always go back to Bruges in '76. When we were 2-0 down then, and we come back to win 3-2, that was a special night. But no, you know, but with this group of players and the manager that we got, I think it proved it on against Newcastle. I think Newcastle coming back against them was a massive lift for the players. If we'd have come out of that game with a draw, the whole club, the whole playing staff would have been down. But to fight the way they did against Newcastle when they were dead and buried, basically, you know, they were out on the feet. So that just shows you what type of team we've got now. So it's fantastic.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's a team that bases itself around, as well as the gegenpressing and the counter-attacks, heart and desire, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got that in the crowd. It's with one big team, you know, crowd and players. And I think it all comes back to Jurgen Klopp and his style of management. You know, they've never given up all season. Never. We've always believed we could get something out of every game, I think.
Go on then. Can Liverpool do it? 5 o'clock today. Is there a good chance that they can be Premier League champions?
We can do what we need to do today. It's that bit's out of our hands, you know. I think what we need to do is just concentrate on winning our game today. That's the only important thing for us. Forget transistor radios, forget the internet. Just win our game today and see what happens.
Steve, I'll give the final word to you.
Says it all.
That's it. Never give up. I think that's the message here, isn't it? Never give up. Anything is possible with this Liverpool side, isn't it? It's back to you.
Sam, thank you very much indeed. Yeah, we've heard anything is possible throughout the course of the day already. Just a quick one in terms of atmosphere, gents. Did you get a sense when you used to stand in the tunnel next to teams that even the greatest players you were coming up against could be affected by this atmosphere? Because it got to the point on Tuesday night where Barcelona, even the likes of Messi and Suarez, looked like rabbits in headlights at times.
Yeah, I never got the sense in the tunnel, but I knew once we got out on the pitch. I early on in the game, you could sense, oh, these are not really with this. These are a little bit scared of what's going on. And then you go at them and you start hitting them, tackles are going in, and then they sort of, whoa, this is not for us today. So I think that if you get the sense when you get out on the pitch for me.
Absolutely. You know, we had the likes of Tottenham come here, and with the great Glenn Hoddle, and he scored a magnificent goal into the Kop end, and we went on and beat them because the crowd got onto him, and from then on end he didn't have anything in. Same as what happened here on Tuesday night. You know, second half, you didn't see Suarez, didn't see Messi. It was unbelievable how, as soon as Suarez got the ball, everybody was on top of him. The whole crowd just let him know that he's not welcome here at Anfield, in our home. And he was intimidated, that is for sure.
Well, it was Suarez and Coutinho and Barcelona on Tuesday night. Today it is Wolves that Liverpool will look to put away here at Anfield and give themselves a chance of lifting the Premier League trophy at about 5 o'clock this afternoon. More build-up on the way in just a few minutes' time.
Good evening, you're watching LFC News, and here are tonight's headlines.
Hello there, very good evening to you. Welcome along to LFC News, live from Anfield.
Jurgen Klopp's side, well, they arrived here in Charlotte, North Carolina yesterday morning.
Late on Friday, Liverpool confirmed their third summer signing.
LFC News brings you daily bulletins from Melwood and a live extended programme every evening at 5 and 6 o'clock. LFC News, be in the know.
Welcome back to Anfield for the final part of our live breakfast show. It looks an absolute picture, doesn't it, as Liverpool look for consecutive unbeaten seasons in the league at home for the first time in 39 years. And it has been a record-breaking season, Ronnie Whelan, on all parts. What part of Liverpool's evolution has impressed you most?
This year I think they've added a will to win when they're not playing great. And we went through a period a couple of years ago where you knew that they weren't going to win a game, but they've now progressed. The confidence is there, but when we've seen some games this season, they're not getting over the line. They're not going to win this. Not going to. Somehow they've I don't know how they do it at times, but they've eked out a result or a win. Yeah, so that for me is a new phase, what they've added to what they had already.
Do you learn that as a group, Bruce? Do you have moments where you grow into that and you look around the team and somewhere on the pitch you think, well, it might be the goalkeeper who makes a brilliant save today, it might be Kenny, it might be Ronnie or Graham Souness who whacks into a tackle to get us going, but something will change this game in our favour?
Absolutely, and when we were playing, yes, you say that you get into the tackle. Our first tackle, anybody on the pitch, the first tackle has to be a good one. Make sure that they know that you're there. And then you go into the game and you can dominate. This team has done that. They have been, hard tackles in the initial stage. But the one thing that we've learned from this team, they've started quickly. When you start quickly and you get the dominance in the very first few minutes, it wears the opposition down. But we're up against a team there that are playing very, very good football. So we've got to be dominant today. The crowd will be here today, and it's going to be it's a magnificent season that we've had. Absolutely brilliant. At the end of the final whistle, we'll find out who is champions, and hopefully we've got another one in the bag here.
Yeah, it'd be a lively evening if that happened. It's the best ever haul in a 38-game season, second only to a 42-game season, 78-79. We've spoken about the manager. The journalists we heard from earlier also spoke about the manager. How do you think he's adapted to life in the Premier League?
Looking at his team,
what I meant, that probably wasn't very well phrased, is how has he changed, do you think, his style subtly to make sure his team can cope with a 38-game season in this league?
I don't think he's changed an awful lot in the whole style of things. It's probably now the belief in the players themselves, and the manager gives them that belief. I said earlier to you and Bruce, what I like most about it is when I see the players on the pitch, they're given licence now to do things if they see it on. Yes, you always have your set, how you set up and what you do and who runs where and who doesn't run where. But the thing like the corner, was at Newcastle when Wijnaldum was free and knocked it in, the corner the other night for Origi to score from Trent. If you see something on, do it.
Yeah.
No, it's not regimental. Yeah. You see too many teams are regimental. Oh, we're taking this corner and this is all we do. And that's even if there's something on it. If Klopp said to Trent Alexander-Arnold, you only put that ball in the far post, we don't score. Origi doesn't score. So he's giving, for me, the license. He now knows his players more, and he trusts them more to say, you go and do what you see is right or what you feel is right on the pitch when you're out there, because I can't tell you everything from the sideline.
In terms of the players, there's a lot made of strengthening the squad as well, Bruce, bringing in top players. Obviously, one of those in the summer was the goalkeeper. I remember having a coffee with you in Dublin before the game against Napoli and chatting about him and what he might achieve. How impressed have you been with his first season?
Very impressed. He's got the most clean sheets in this league, and it's been very, very dominant. And his position
in more ways than one, I suspect.
But it is behind sweeping up as well. Bruce would do that. Lots of times when the ball goes over the top and he was out on the edge and he'd get it away. But his athleticism and shot stopping was second. The reflex is unbelievable. It was, hell of a goalkeeper.
But he wasn't your player of the season, Ronnie. You'd have gone for Virgil van Dijk, which is pretty understandable, it must be said. And the two of them are just immense, aren't they?
Well, the manager brought in Virgil, didn't he? And it looked, he's the one to now sort out the defence, but now you get a goalkeeper behind him and they all trust him as well. So they both added to the team immensely.
And in terms of someone like Virgil van Dijk, from a goalkeeper's perspective, Bruce, it might have been the same with you looking forward and seeing Alan Hansen or Mark Lawrenson. That sort of trust that goes both ways. You can turn around and think, yeah, my keeper's going to sort me out if I make a mistake, and you think, well, probably not going to have to save too many today because I've got Virgil van Dijk or Alan Hansen in front of me.
Well, with Virgil van Dijk, you actually see him turn around to Alisson if he doesn't give him a shout, which is, it's a mutual effect. Goalkeepers have to shout at their defence, tell them where the players are going and tell them. Virgil van Dijk has to do that with the midfield and the strikers. So it's the ongoing process. We've got our spine now, and we've got a magnificent goalkeeper, brilliant, best defender in the world for sure, and arguably probably the best player in the world. And then we've got the spine going through to the front. And the front three, anybody who plays up front is going to score. That's for sure.
Well, if you follow Liverpool on social media, and I'm sure you do, you'll have seen the likes of Alisson and Virgil van Dijk celebrating in the dressing room after that incredible victory over Barcelona on Tuesday night. Well, inside the inner sanctum for us this morning is Peter McDowell.
Thanks, Rob, and good morning. We thought we'd bring you behind the scenes. This is where the players will filter through in a few hours' time as the magnitude of this title race really starts to become real. Players and officials' entrance, as that would suggest, not anybody is allowed in here. We're only allowed in here because it's early. And this is the scene the other night of all of that celebration, what we call a mix zone. So all of the people who don't have rights to broadcast the game live will be filtering along here, trying to get reaction from players a little bit later. The other night, of course, for the Barcelona game, this is where the players were filtering through, almost in that sense of disbelief as to what had happened. This is where they refuel, normally with their headphones on. Normally it's a scene of calm as they try and settle their bodies down to try and get some sleep. They had no chance after Barcelona. There were no headphones on, players all embracing each other. And this very spot here is where Philippe Coutinho and Luis Suarez filtered through in tears, but stopped to greet the Liverpool players and wish them all the best in the final. Now this is where they will walk through a little bit later as well. There will be special guests lined up here, maybe guests of the owners and that kind of thing. You will see the players give them high fives on the way through. They will definitely have their headphones on a little bit later. And who knows, they might stop by this quote here, one of Jurgen Klopp's. This is a place for big football moments. We saw one on Tuesday night. If this is to be the place where the title changes hand or the lead changes hand, worth remembering it's changed 32 times already this season, that lead between the first and second spot. 33rd time would make it extra dramatic. One player will turn right here to do the interview, 3 questions just before the game, and the rest of the players will turn this way, and there will be particular attention on this number here, 18 league titles. Could that change come 4:45 a little bit later? I'm sure they'll have a cursory look at the ground that will be filling up and the famous sign, and then it's into the changing room. Again, this was a scene of celebration the other night, even for the players that weren't involved. They were in tears, and the kit is already laid out for the team a little bit later too. So this is the squad on duty. This is the scene that will greet them a little later as well. What kind of scene will it be later on? And this guy who was telling us at Melwood on Friday that he is fit and ready to start. He will want all the titles that go with, hopefully, Liverpool becoming champions, top scorer, all the rest of it. He will be a big member of this Liverpool squad today. Bruce Grobbelaar and Ronnie Whelan won't need reminding, but we haven't lost a game on the final day of the season since 1989 against Arsenal. That was when the title took a dramatic turn. Could this turn be even more dramatic today?
Pete, thank you very much indeed, and I'm sure that those two wouldn't like reminding that they lost that game on the final day of the season in 1989. Just before we go, we gave Ronnie Whelan the unenviable task of making a combined 11 from the last title-winning side in 1990 and the class of 2019. This is what he went for. He initially picked Alisson, but Bruce Grobbelaar looked at him quite threateningly and he changed your mind. But in terms of the overall team, I tell you what, it'd be some subs bench, wouldn't it? Because the ones who made the team were pretty good.
If Alisson can ever emulate what Bruce won, he can go in ahead of him.
Okay.
But it's been a while before he ever got to that amount of trophies that Bruce has got.
And you put yourself in the team as well, I noticed.
Yeah, because I think I can sit in front of the back four better than anybody. Barnes and them up front. And
well, there it is. We got there in the end. I didn't think that team initially appeared, but there it is. So you wouldn't mind playing in goal behind that, would you, Bruce? That's a pretty decent side.
Unbelievable. That's the same pair that I would have actually put in my all-time great teams. Stevie Nicol on the right, yeah, he's doing very, very well. No, you got Stevie Nicol on the left, yeah?
Yeah, I've got Trent on the right.
Well, yeah, okay.
You can agree to disagree on that.
No.
We come off there.
That is brilliant. Yeah, that back four I'd love to play behind for sure.
Final thought then on today, Ronnie. Firstly, can Liverpool do it? And secondly, how do they block out everything that's going on at the Amex, whether it is good or bad news?
Do what they've done all season. Just go out and win the game, and then hopefully the other result goes for them.
It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it, Bruce, if they could get it done today?
Absolutely. They've got to take care of business here today. And who knows?
Who knows? That's what we will say. That's how we will end it. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Ronnie will still be with us throughout the course of Matchday Live, which gets underway at 1:30 this afternoon. Once again, plenty of ways on how you can watch that on social media and live on YouTube as well. It is the perfect day in terms of conditions here at Anfield. Will it be the perfect day in terms of result? We'll see you a bit later on.
We feel as one, 100% as one group, together with the supporters. That's 100% the truth. You not only don't walk alone, you are never alone in these situations, and we want to do it for all of us. We try with all we have in a very positive way, and we try to keep this dream alive. Believe in something makes it more likely to happen. Let's go for it. We try everything to make it a big day for us.